Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. No, the war did not start yet in Kosovo, but we're getting there. People are gathering information, probably they are organizing and planning, and definitely they create headquarters. And I'm talking about the Serbs in the northern Kosovo. Besides setting up barricades and blocking roads, now they set up a crisis headquarters in northern Kosovo. We're getting there, slowly but surely. This article comes from Sputnik. It is from today, the 11th of December 2022. Serbs to set up crisis headquarters in northern Kosovo. A crisis headquarters will be created by Kosovo Serbs who have set up barricades because of the actions of Pristina, Goran Rakic, leader of the Serbian List party, said. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić held a National Security Council meeting on Sunday over Pristina's threats to forcefully remove barricades erected by Serbs in the north of Kosovo. And I'm quoting, "We will form a crisis headquarters that will inform citizens and the media about the situation on the ground. I call on citizens, given the high degree of tension resulting from the threats from Pristina, to remain peaceful and restrained, but also vigilant," end quote. Rakic told TV Pink on Sunday night. Earlier that day, Kosovo's de facto leader Albin Kurti urged the NATO-led Kosovo force KFOR to dismantle road barricades erected by local Serbs in the north of breakaway region. If KFOR refuses to step in, Kosovo's own security forces will be ready to carry out this operation themselves, Kurti said. Serbs in the northern part of Kosovo began setting up barricades on Saturday in protest against the arrest of Dejan Pantic, a former police officer who quit his post in mid-November and was arrested by the Kosovo authorities at the Jarinje border crossing in suspicion of quote-unquote terrorism. On Saturday evening, Vučić said in his address to the National that Belgrade would send a formal request to the KFOR mission command for permission to deploy the Serbian military and police in Kosovo. He also showed photos of Kosovar soldiers in heavy equipment and with automatic weapons in the north of the region near the border of Serbia. Vučić recalled that according to the agreements reached earlier, special police forces can only be deployed to the Serb majority municipalities with the authorization of regional heads. So that's the first part. The other part is I have an article that came earlier today from the same Sputnik where it says Serbia's Vučić accuses US and Pristina of not complying with any agreements on Kosovo. What do you mean United States will not comply? United States makes the rules and keeps the rules and follows the rules and holds everybody accountable and is the enforcer of the international law. What are you talking about, Vučić? Well, we're going to find out. The United States and the Kosovo authorities in Pristina are not following any acts or agreements on Kosovo. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić said following a Security Council meeting convened on Sunday amid mounting tensions in the predominantly Serb-populated north of Kosovo. Vučić called the meeting after Kosovo's de facto leader, okay, I did that one, and then this is what Vučić says. Very important. I'm quoting, "We have one question for our American partners. Tell us, which agreement is Pristina abiding by and which act are you abiding by? The UN Charter, UN Security Council Resolution 1244, the Brussels Agreement, or the Washington Agreement?" That's all with question marks. Name us one of these documents that Pristina respects, at least one, and they and the US respect, Vučić said in his address after the meeting. Washington and Pristina believe they can do whatever, I'm quoting, do whatever they want and as much as they want, without respecting any agreements on Kosovo, the Serbian president said. Serbs in North, okay, I said with the barricades, that's already in the other one, the Security Council. And says earlier on Sunday, Vučić pledged that his country would continue efforts to settle the Kosovo issue using legal means and called on Pristina to create a community of Serb municipalities in accordance with the 2013 Brussels agreement. I hope Vučić is not naive, and he didn't give me the impression so far to believe that these guys are operating within the framework of any agreement. If you want to look at something that is newer than your agreements, look no further than Minsk agreements between Ukraine and the separatist Russian ethnics in its eastern side, and the Russians, the Germans, and the French. And you're gonna find out that these guys just buy times to fuck you up later. That's an example. That's exactly what Angela Merkel and what's his name, Poroshenko, the president of Ukraine after 2014 until before, I think, what's his name, this clown, Zelensky. So don't you bet on those guys following whatever they sign. No, zero expectations. Calculate the circumstances with the idea that they will not follow their own or implement their own agreements. That should be the premises, the start in your brain. Not skepticism. That's the way you should think. They would not do it. And anything that they do within the framework of the agreements, that should be like a celebration. That's the way these guys were. And this reminds me of, I'm going to give you a little story about Stefan the Great. He was a Romanian Moldovan king. He reigned between 1400, I think 52 or something, until 1500 or something. About 50 years reigned. That's a big period of time during those times when you would die at 35 and you would be decapitated at, early. So he was a guy who dealt with invasions from Poland. Yes, Poland, they were invaders, yes. From the east, from Kazakhs and whatever they were coming, I can't remember all those migrants that were coming from the east. Can't remember their name. Tatars. Okay, Tatars and the Turks and the Hungarians. All these guys invaded from different times Moldova. And on his deathbed, this guy, King Stefan the Great, that's how it's in Romanian history, he said to his followers, whomever is going to be, to his sons, whatever, going to be in charge. And it was very curious because in our history, in our Romanian history, we say that, the Turks always invaded. We had the biggest problems were the Turks. They were invading and Muslims and all that. But curiously, Stefan said, do not trust the West. He said, do not trust the Hungarians. No, he started like this. Do not trust the Poles. Do not trust the Hungarians. Do not trust the Pope. You better entrust yourself to the Turks. And we were like, oh shit, what? I mean, he fought with all of them, but he said, those guys in the West, they are not trustworthy. The Turk, he said, will keep his word more than those guys over there. So Vučić, be careful. You fought the Serbs fought a lot of people in their history, and they tried to defend their little turf over there that they managed. So that's the way. Just look at Stefan the Great's advice. And I'm saying don't trust anybody, but moreover these guys. And you can look what they said, as I said, with the Minsk agreement. Just an example. This is just for them, it's just a suggestion. When the Americans are signing a document, they look at it as a suggestion. For you, it's an international law. For them, it's a suggestion. Maybe, okay. So it's coming. The Americans are zipped. They don't give an answer. They let things over there to flare up. People will die. One person, one accident, a crazy guy, maybe a criminal, something will happen. And from there, you have everything blowing like that. And who's going to show up? The Americans. Why? They keep quiet now and they wait. Come on, man. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. That's what's gonna happen. You'll see. You'll see, unfortunately, for the Serbs as well. But not only for the Serbs. I'm not crying only for the Serbs. Because the Albanians are over there too. So they're gonna die too. I cry for them too. Why? Because again, nations that are here are fucked up by others from Brussels or from Washington, D.C. It's unbelievable. Remember General de Gaulle of France? He used to say two things. Remember two things. He used to say to the Europeans, remember two things. Americans don't live here. America doesn't live here in Europe. And the second one, Great Britain is an island. That's how de Gaulle exemplified everything. He said, no, everything is among us here. The same here with the Serbs. Serbs, remember, the Americans and Albanians, both of them. Remember, the Brits, the Brussels guys, and the guys from Washington do not live here, and those guys are an island, and the other ones are a continent across a sea. Okay, ocean, to put it more proper. So yeah, deal with your things here, and you can figure it out. I'm pretty sure. But if you have someone to poison your ear, maybe you can be this, maybe you can take that, maybe you can do this, maybe you can do that, then you have 1999 and you have many other examples. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.